All right, this is Ryan with RSRollingClassics. This is video number 3. All right, so let me show you on this side, I guess. All right, the other side's been done. So I took the seal off with a claw hammer, no big deal. Stick it in there, make sure you just grab in the metal, it'll pop out. And there's 2 recesses in there. There's one for the bearing. It's slightly smaller, and then the seal is a little bigger. That seal almost sits completely flush when installed all the way. I'll show you on the other side. And what turned into a small project, kind of course, right, mushrooms into a big one. All right, so let's talk about this. First, I had to get the 3-piece bearing puller. Okay, we'll show you what that looks like. So this is actually for 3-piece rear axle bearing puller set. The only thing is, you don't have a pull hammer or a slide hammer. Yeah, good luck using this thing by itself. Anyway, let's keep this thing rolling. So I bought that. We already know that. I bought that ahead of time. I even bought this 2-pound sliding hammer that I thought would fit onto this kit. No. There you go. So it's like $30, and they knocked off some numbers on it. So it wasn't that expensive. I'll keep it. I'll use it for other things. Then we move on to this. This is a bearing, race, and seal driver set. That's what this looks like. It's another kit bought. So I had to go back to Harbor Freight and say, hey, you sold me a kit. Now I need a sliding hammer. They won't sell you a single sliding hammer. I had to buy this big guy right here. So you can see how this thing slides back. And when it hits over here, it pulls on this. And I left the bearing installed so you can see how that actually fits on there. So there you go. Just a size big enough to grab the bearing. And I tell you what, between 2 pounds and 5 pounds, this thing, there was no way that bearing was not coming out, especially with that bearing attachment on the end. So the bearing is actually installed, and I could count on less than both hands how many pulls it took to knock that out. It was hard. You used all 5 of this. This is a 5-pound. When they talk about the weight, that's a 5-pound. This was half off, but again, this is a 9-way 5-pound sledgehammer and pull set. Let's see what this thing's got. So this got a bunch of stuff in it. I would have probably spent at least $40 on a sliding hammer. I got this kit half off for $70. So I'm like, why not? So now I have this with the pull hammer that came with it. Okay. Bearing grease. These bearings do not come grease. And so make sure I got the right kind. This is high temp disc brakes. I got disc brakes. Wheel bearing grease. That's what we're doing. So here's that shaft again. This is where there's a little C-clip that drops into here. And again, this looks really nice right here. Nice and clean. This was not leaking. This was completely dry. But if that one's leaking, this one was probably quick behind it. There's one of the little gears. There's two of those, and then that pin goes through and holds them. Underneath, I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so on the passenger side, it's done. See how it's got that planetary gear, that one that I just showed you? Right there. And then it's got a little C-clip right here. Okay. So you got two of those, that gear, and that pin runs through them, in between them. One on this side, and one on that side. And then there's a pin that goes whoop, and then there's a bolt that pins that pin. Okay, let's get going, run out of time. Now, when I see people do these videos, maybe it's because their bearings weren't leaking or just seeping. And this car is 20 years old. So there's a lot of rust. And all that grease that was getting slung on here was ridiculous. So I did a good job cleaning it up. I had to knock off all the dirt. And while I had it off, I deburred the sides here and made it nice and smooth. I am waiting for shocks. I don't want to put the rear end or tires back on. I do have shocks. It's a bolt on the bottom, and there's a nut in the trunk. So I've got shocks on its way. I've also had to purchase some brake clean disc parts. The nice thing was these were marked down like 30%. So I bought like 6 cans of it. This is what you're going to use to put your bearing in. And this is what that one kit was. And find the one that gets closest to the size of the bearing. And then don't just take a little claw hammer like I tried. I had to bring out the beast. And once it got it started in there, the numbers on the bearing face are the ones that were on the outside. But make sure you get it started nice and even, and then you bash it in with that. I did put a little grease to help it along. And I also cleaned out the race in there. All right, so like I said, this thing was a complete mess. If I get cut off, I get cut off. But you can see all the shiny oil. I got to clean all that mess up. I want to do a better job. I actually want to paint that. All right. Wish me luck. And we'll see you next time. Bye.